Well, ladies and gentlemen, considering the conversation around censorship right now is so strong, I came across this article here on Bounding into Comics that I thought was honestly pretty damn funny. And at the same time, while it is funny, it's also extremely sad that they felt like they need to do this. We have an article here that says Nintendo censors scene of enemy Goombas catcalling female party member from Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake.
To act the right way.
Bro, not cool. Not cool.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo, a company who is hiring a DEI officer, a company who is very clearly exploring different metrics of ESG, all of a sudden is now censoring a game that has been around for ages in their remake, and it's because it's problematic, right? You know what I mean? Like this is problematic content. You can't have Goombas in a cartoon game catcalling a female Goomba. No, you can't do that, right? If you have a strong, independent female Goomba that needs no Goomba, you can have that. That's absolutely fine. But God forbid you have male Goombas attracted to the female Goombas. Well, you just can't have that. That's too much. The feminists who don't play this game are not going to like that. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, you have a picture here from the original. I believe this is the original. This is not the remake. I could be wrong. I don't know. Well, it says 2024, so maybe it is the remake. It's just a terrible picture. It says, in the latest case of video game remake making an edit to its source material's original script, Nintendo has censored a scene wherein a trio of enemies aggressively catcall one of Mario's female allies from their upcoming remake of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Now, here's the thing about this translation, okay? This goes to show the difference between old localization and modern localization philosophy, if you get my drift, right? All these woke-ass localizers that think that they're doing God's work by changing what the context of the story is, yeah, they're the ones who are doing stuff like this. It's not the ones who were doing it prior. Those were doing as best as they possibly could. Now, this translation here from the original game, let me show you what it says. It says, what's up, baby? Why don't you hang with us for a while? We play real nice. From my understanding, the people who translated this and the people who know the Japanese version and who aren't woke psychopaths, everybody is saying that the Japanese version essentially says the same exact thing. They actually did a very good translation here for the most part. It is happening, to be catcalling, but still, they did a one-to-one or almost a one-to-one translation, and they got the message across. Apparently, that's not allowed anymore. This is occurring early on in the red-hatted plumber's two-dimensional journey, and serving as the game's setup to the live combat tutorial. The scene in question sees Mario and his newfound allies, Goombella, a friendly female Goomba, and Professor Frankly, a bespectacled and academic-minded Goomba, accosted by a assorted trio of rough-and-tumble Goombas as they attempt to make their way through the ruins found underneath the city of Rogueport. In the original 2004, now again, guys, 2004, think about what was happening in 2004 in the gaming scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, World of Warcraft was coming out, all that stuff. Like 2004, you're trying to remake a game from that year. Yeah, you got to imagine that there's going to be a lot of problematic things. At least that's what the sensitive people who don't play these games are going to say. They're going to have problems with these scenes, and unfortunately, it seems like Nintendo is going the way of ESG, and we know that because, like I said earlier in the video, they are actively hiring a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer to oversee a DEI office. So they actually want a segment of their company to be DEI focused, and they're looking for someone to head the way. So it's kind of sad. It says GameCube released The Thousand Year Door. Upon crossing paths with the enemy trio, each of its members proceed to catcall Goombella, to which she ultimately responds by telling them to kick rocks, which, hey, I mean, what's wrong with that? I feel like that's a strong, empowering message. You know what I mean? Stand up for yourself. Fight for yourself. But yeah, we can't have that. Unable to handle this rejection, the Goombas then proceed to save face by attacking both her and Mario, thus kicking off the first combat encounter in which players can actually control the party. The scene in question can be seen at the beginning of this Let's Play, blah, blah, blah. But let's just read what it says. So the Goombas say, hey, man, what's up? Who's the hottie you got there with you? Paragoomba says, what's up, baby? Why don't you hang out with us for a while? We play real nice. Spike Goomba says, man, what a fine-looking Goomba doing with a tubby mustache man like that. Goombella says, oh, it is, like, so sweet that you boys think I'm cute. Seriously. Yeah, guys like you make me feel like totally barfing. Now get out of our way. Goomba says, ouch, that was cold. Paragoomba says, what, you're too good for us? Come off it, sister. And Spike Goomba says, nobody zings us like that. Nobody. Let's get them. Now, Nothing malicious about this scene. I mean, you have to be an absolute psychopath to get offended at Paper Mario. I mean, I really don't know what kind of person looks at a Nintendo game and says, what can I look at that's going to be deemed problematic and get that censored? I mean, I just don't understand the mindset of these people. Again, they're fake gamers, right? These are tourists to the gaming scene, and it's very clear that they're looking for any little thing they possibly can, especially, listen, it's an Eastern developed game, okay? I keep saying this until I'm literally nauseated, but it's an Eastern developed game. Anytime it's a game coming out from the East, they cannot let this game go without controversy. They cannot let this game go without some form of censorship. They have to find problems. If they don't find problems, then that means that companies are not going to actively hire them and pay them. That's why Nintendo is looking for a DEI officer, because they have convinced these Japanese developers that there is problematic content when translating to the West, and they need to be hired to fix it. It is a grift, a massive grift, and they are utilizing it to try to make as much money as they possibly can while the situation is still hot, because eventually I think this will go away little by little. I think eventually we will go back to some sort of normalcy, but until that happens, we unfortunately are stuck with these absolute psychopaths that have ingrained themselves in the mainstream gaming industry and convince the Japanese that they are needed. Like, I can't believe that the Japanese developers sincerely think that they need these DEI officers to control what ends up getting translated to the West. I mean, it's fucking nuts. But let's see. It says, however, as seen in a preview of the title provided by CG Magazine, the upcoming 2024 Switch remake sees that this scene plays out in a much different fashion. Therein, rather than leaping to blows due to being rejected by Goombella, the enemy trio instead take issue with Mario and company's trespassing on their underground hut. It says, Goomba, hey man, what's up? You think it's cool to just waltz in on your way to our underground? Paragoomba says, typical, you surface level snobs are so stuck up. Oh, I get to see the sun. I get to breathe clean air. Ooh. Spike Goomba says, hell yeah. Come on over here, scruffy mustache man. We're going to teach you some proper manners. Goombella says, leave him alone. Can't two academics and a world famous hero wander the sewers of a port town in peace? If this is your usual greeting to visitors, then you must have learned it down here because it stinks. Goomba says, ouch, that was cold. Paragoomba says, what, you're too good for a fight? If you ain't looking to tussle, then stay out of the sewer. Spike Goomba says, nobody starts to fight with us. Nobody, let's get them. So this, in my opinion, is inherently way worse, okay? I mean, it is literally way worse. Not only that, you took a moment away from the female Goomba to defend herself, because clearly the words are just too problematic that you can't see it on screen. So you literally took away her defending herself, and this is supposed to be more empowering. This is supposed to be more sensitive. Like, I don't see how this is better in any way. It says, notably, per a 2004 translation guide of the game's Japanese script provided by GameFAQs, user Spookychi, in its original, non-localized release, Mario's encounter with the Goombas plays out roughly the same as it would in English, with Goombella being hit on and rejecting the enemies. As of writing, Nintendo has not offered a comment. Listen, Nintendo's not going to offer a comment, okay? When it comes to this censorship stuff, these studios, these developers don't normally want to talk about it. They're going to try to stay as quiet as possible about it and hope that the backlash just kind of dies off. That's essentially what they're going to do. But a game like this, that probably has this one change, let's be real, this is probably not the one change. There's probably multiple different changes in Paper Mario, and they need to go digging, because I'm sure if you dig enough, you're gonna find it. And Nintendo, like I keep saying, is hiring a DEI officer. They fully plan on embracing ESG. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is not anything that's like, oh, well, you know, is he telling the truth a lot? No. They're hiring a DE officer. They fully plan on just focusing on ESG and making sure that they're as woke as shit when it comes to releasing games in the West. So if you think this is bad, if you think this localization is terrible, trust me, it's going to get a lot worse. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.